Welcome back to Healing Arts TV. I'm your host, Queen Melody. And today I found a very interesting story in the Bible to talk about. Now, I know everyone is familiar with the stork and the basket. You know, sometimes children come in and they're like, Mommy, Daddy, where do babies come from? And parents are like stuck at, what should I tell my children? Like, I've heard about the birds and the bees. Then there's another one that I hear about the stork and the basket. And parents tell their children that a stork dropped you off on the doorstep in a basket. And I'm just like, stop telling your children lies.
My 42-week pregnancy journal guides expectant mothers through the journey of pregnancy with faith, reflection, and intention. It's designed for weekly journaling, equipped with growth trackers, galleries, appointment trackers, and more. This is a wonderful place to trust God, honor your body, and record the miracle of new life, 1 week at a time.
Satan, he is the father of lies. And you're actually lying to your children about something that God created. That is how we reproduce, because he asks us to be fruitful and multiply in the earth. And when I found this story in the Bible the other day, I was so shocked, because the story of the stork and the baby in the basket is actually just a reprise of this story. And this story is to do with wickedness. It's nothing good. It's evil. But of course, the nursery rhymes and all of that, and you know, people make the bear look like it's good, and even signs they put out nowadays with a stork in a basket. Like, this is all evil, right? We need to stop partnering and come in agreement with these storylines and with these lies that society tells us that actually is altering children's destinies. Our destinies are being altered because of things that we partner, just like Halloween and just like Christmas and just like all these other things. People's destinies are being altered because of what they are celebrating or what they are agreeing with. All the devil needs is covenant. All he needs is an agreement. And so let's get to the story, right? So Zechariah 5, verse 5 to 11, is called a woman in a basket. Then the angel who was speaking to me came forward and said to me, "Look up and see what is appearing." I asked, "What is it?" He replied, "It's a basket." And he added, "This is the iniquity of the people throughout the land." I was like, huh? Then on, right? And I read, and it says, "Then the cover of the lid was raised, and there in the basket sat a woman. She said, 'This is wickedness.' And he pushed her back down into the basket and pushed its lid cover down on it." Verse 9 says, "Then I looked up, and there before me were two women with the wind in their wings. They had wings like those of a stork." Wait, what? Okay, I kept reading. "And they lifted the basket between heaven and earth." "Where are they taking the basket?" I asked the angel who was speaking to me. He replied, "To the country of Babylonia, to build a house for it. When the house is ready, the basket will be set there in its place." I said, no, this sounds a lot like a story that I've heard before about a baby in a basket. Okay, it's a woman in a basket. The storks are actually women with wings of storks, but it just sounds too familiar. I read it and instantly thought about the storks, the babies, the basket, everybody in the world that's putting these storks out. During baby showers, you know, people actually have this symbolism of a stork in a basket, people telling their children that they come from a stork that dropped them off in a basket. It's just too similar, right? And I know, you know, what the devil does with the deception of God's word. The same thing he did with Eve in the Garden of Eden. He twisted God's words, right? So you tell your child that that child came as a stork in a basket, you're basically telling that child that your wickedness, because that's what came in that basket with those women with the wings of a stork. It was wickedness, and it was set in Babylonia. Everybody in the world talking about Babylon, burn down Babylon, this, everybody's coming against Babylon, right? But that's exactly where this wicked basket got set. This wickedness. It was a house that was built for it. It's always about you came on the doorstep at the house, right? They didn't say, oh, the stork came to the hospital and dropped mommy off. No. The storyline goes that you came to the house in a basket and you got dropped off. And guys, you need to renounce this. If you are partnering with this, if you ever tell your child, if you ever had that symbolism at your baby shower or out on your doorstep about the baby in the basket, that is a contradiction to what God's word says. Now, maybe you're not going to tell your children right away at such a young age that, mommy and daddy had certain acts of love that created them, but at least tell them, mommy and daddy produced you. The God of heaven, our God, blessed mommy and daddy, and we produced you, we reproduced you, and you're going to reproduce babies one day when you get a husband, or you're going to produce babies one day, if it's a little boy, when you have a wife. And if they say, well, where did I come from? Like, where was I? Right here in mommy's belly. Take out the pictures and show the baby that he or she was in your belly.
My 42-week pregnancy journal guides expectant mothers through the journey of pregnancy with faith, reflection, and intention. It's designed for weekly journaling equipped with growth trackers, galleries, appointment trackers, and more. This is a wonderful place to trust God, honor your body, and record the miracle of new life 1 week at a time.
Don't tell them about a stork in a basket. That is wickedness. That is a contradiction to God's word, just like what Satan did. He said, did God tell you in the garden that you must not eat from this tree? And then Satan said to Eve, God didn't say that, or God didn't mean that. What he really meant was, and he switched his words, turned his words, and deceived Eve. And because of that, the whole human race was flawed until Jesus came and gave us his grace, right? And only for those who receive and believe in him. But are you gonna put this wickedness on your child before your child even has a chance to accept what he wants in his life? Do you know how much wickedness you put in your child? You stand a chance of your child growing up evil. And then you want to know, what happened to my child? What is wrong with my child?